Inside handoff. Oh, on the bootleg. 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Bounce it to the outside, trying to stretch that pylon. Stretches, and he is in for the touchdown.
Welcome to Touchdowns and Tailgates, powered by the Fairfield Auto Group. We're up at STA Stadium on top of the hill. We got Williamsport millionaire coach Chuck Cruz next to me, Jimmy Webb down there on the end. Hard to believe we're halfway through the high school football season, Coach.
Yeah, it flies by. You know, you spend so much time in the off-season planning and preparing, and then once the season actually hits, you know, the weeks and the days, they just start flying by. So here we are about to go into week 6, and, you know, hopefully we can be better in the second half than we were in the first half.
Well, hey, we're not going to talk about the past, other than I will say Berwick's always a rivalry game. Records, everything's out the window when you play Berwick, and you know, if you got them 9 out of 10 times, I think I know who'd win. But unfortunately, that was the one night.
Yeah. It certainly wasn't, you know, Coach Montgomery and Coach Curry on Friday night. You had Coach Carm, Coach Cruz, and staffs and their teams. And what we saw was a very desperate Berwick team, and they played as such. And we did not help by turning the ball over and, you know, airing snaps, and, you know, so we did not help ourselves. We actually helped them, but it was an exciting game nonetheless, and kudos and hats off to the Bulldogs.
I just thought maybe you like playing overtime games.
Well, listen, I didn't want to go home, you know, wasn't nothing to eat at home, so I was trying to delay getting home, so.
You know, football is a family sport at the Webb household, baseball, basketball.
Indeed.
Our family, just like at your house, I got Jimmy next to me. Your son's a stud. I keep trying to get him on. When do I get young Charles Cruz?
Oh,
the third, right?
Yes, he's the third.
Yeah, Hunter's the third.
There you go. Listen, when he lives up to his grandfather's expectations, you know what I mean? It's not because what I think don't count, but he needs to focus on his academics. So right now, the gentlemen you'll speak to are not only great players, they're also great students. You'll get him.
Did I get a little message in there? Was there a little message in there too, like I used to like to do with my boys, huh?
A little subliminal, you know what I mean? But that's okay. No, he's doing a good job, as are the other boys. But we try to get. I try to get as many, you know, boys exposure as possible because y'all work hard. So he had his 5 minutes of fame, you know. So now it's time for somebody else, you know.
I know.
I'm
just pulling your leg.
Yeah, as you should.
Jimmy, hey, you know, father, sons. Jimmy, ask him a football family question here.
All right, Coach. So I'm used to interviewing the players, so my questions are kind of soft toss, easy questions.
Oh, there you go.
So
Listen, let me hold my beer.
You had an intense game with Berwick, getting the adrenaline high. How do you focus them up for this week and being homecoming, keep them focused on the game?
Well, that would be a great question had we won. But being that we lost, the focus should be very clear because, and I say that we lost in the sense that they didn't beat us. Mm-hmm. You know, we turned the ball over. We had a lot of penalties. You know what I mean? So we did everything in our power to make that a very exciting game. It'd be one thing if we went out, we had no procedure penalties, no holding penalties, no turnovers, and the scoreboard had them with more points than we did.
So they know what they need to focus on this week.
Yes. And believe it or not, we saw some great strides from a handful of kids. So we are excited moving forward as to who we can be. We haven't even scratched, you know what I mean, our potential yet of who we can be. And that's what's so exciting about us.
And you make a great point. I'm a firm believer that you learn every week, and you don't want to play your best football week 1.
Only if that's a championship game.
Absolutely. And I like what I see out of young players and developing. I'm sure you do. And again, the season goes on, you're molding them. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's improved the most?
That's a good question. You know, I'm going to go with one of the young men that you're going to see to have the opportunity to talk to today, Sebastian Robinson. He came in with an ability to find the ball, but not a true passion to make the play. And as the season is going on, that ability to find the ball from the linebacker position, and now he's added that passion to make the play, has led to him being a very good linebacker. He's our leading tackler. He's always around the ball. Not to mention at this point, he's our leading tight end. He's caught the last 2 trending upward right now.
Always good stock going up.
Indeed.
Jimmy, anything you got for Coach?
No, I just hope we get to play the Park Pizza touchdowns and tailgates clip a lot this week.
You know, one day I'm gonna have to take a Friday night off just so I can see that. You know what I mean? You guys keep talking about it. It got me nervous.
I hope we get to
You're
play it a lot.
You're welcome to come to my Orchard Avenue studio and watch with me.
There you go. I'll see you Friday.
Sounds great.
Thanks,
hey,
Coach.
we better
Thank
get
you.
out of here. We'll let some players come in with Jimmy Webb. Be right back after a message.
5. The Fairfield 5 is 35. The Fairfield 5 is 35, and we're celebrating at all 5 locations across Central PA. 5 is 35. We're the Fairfield 5 for fantastic selection and service, and we're way past old enough to drive. The Fairfield 5 is 35. Fairfield for fantastic deals.
All right, we're here with the Millionaires. First off, we'll let them introduce themselves.
Sebastian Robinson, I'm in 12th grade and I play linebacker and tight end.
Connor Adkins, number 55, D-line and O-line.
Damon Green, wide receiver in DB, and I'm in 12th grade.
All right, we'll start over here. Mr. Robinson, leading the defense. How's it feel being that linebacker out there? Do you bring out the plays, leading the team? Walk us through it. Day in the life of the linebacker.
Well, our coaches just signal the plays, and then me and 2 other linebackers, we just say the plays to the D-line to let them know what they're doing.
Nice. We'll go over here to the linemen. You mentioned, and it's a thing to be proud of, only 2 sacks all season. What do you guys do? What's your mentality? Keep your quarterback upright.
Yeah, the biggest thing for us is protecting our quarterback and our running backs. It's big on it. We always practice pass sets and finishing the blocks and making sure he has time in the pocket. We take a lot of pride in him having a clean pocket, you know what I mean, being able to look at the field back and forth and being able to throw where he needs to be throwing.
Yeah, I was wondering why Frankie's jersey was always so clean, but I guess that's why.
Yes,
Come
sir.
down here, wide receiver. What do you need to do watching film, getting ready for the game to be open, get ready for your quarterback, have a big night?
We definitely need to work on our routes. Our routes need to be more crisp. We need to work on our blocking, make sure our running backs, if they get in the open field, they can make a move on our backs and they can score.
Yep, and Coach Cruz said you guys knew exactly what you had to do, and that was what he said, so you guys must be on the same page. We'll go over here. You guys ready for this question? One song you listen to before the game.
Dreams and nightmares.
That's the common one. What about you?
I like First Day Out by T Grizzly.
I listen to Dreams and Nightmares too. That's a pretty hype song.
And then we'll do one shout out. Shout out anyone you want.
I shout out my mom.
Shout out my dad and the O-line. We don't get enough recognition.
Shout out my mom. Yeah, the official TAI.
All right, after a quick break, we'll be back with Doc Massey.
Fastman's Speed, Agility, and Quickness Camp. This is where we get it done. Improving everybody's quick turnover, everybody's agility, everybody in transitional sprints, all ages, all sports. You want it, we got it. Come to Fastmass.
And I'm back with Doc Massey from the Sun Gazette. Always great to see you, Doc.
Hey, likewise.
Haven't had a chance to catch up with you this year. The schedules have been opposite, but hey, we're halfway through the football season.
Crazy.
Hard to
Goes
believe.
fast.
I said that to Coach Chuck. It's just amazing. You and I lived for high school football in the start of the season. Let's start with, what have you seen the first 5 weeks, the first half?
Yeah, a lot of parity. I think that Jersey Shore's undefeated, but I don't think there's a clear dominant team out there yet. They're having a great season, but I think once you think you have it figured out, something else happens and it changes. So a lot of good teams though. Like in my top 5, Muncie hasn't been able to crack it yet, and they're a great team. They're 4-1, and I think they have a chance to do really well in the playoffs. So I think that speaks to the depth around here of the good football being played.
Excellent. And Muncie folks, you've been calling me. We're going to be down there. We got games scheduled here. The schedule sort of flipped. We got you late in the season this year, and we'll be down for touchdowns and tailgates.
Yeah,
We haven't been down to see the Indian.
they have some good games coming up.
So let's go through it. Doc Massey's top 5 at the halfway point. 5.
Yep, my top 5, I'll go Loyalsock number 5. Really good team. You know, they lost to Southern Columbia, but gave them a battle for a half, and then, you know, a great game against Montoursville the other night. They could have went either way, but I really like what they're doing. Nate Bauman, a backup sophomore quarterback, doesn't look like a backup sophomore. He played great against Montoursville, and Ryan Glunk. They're having an all-state season at wide receiver as well.
Boy, the Glunk boy gets up and gets down as well as anybody I've seen. Has great hands, and I mean, I knew he was a good athlete, but he's a great athlete.
He is. He's a former quarterback too, and you know, I think Justin Van Fleet said he was kind of surprised he moved to. Glunk didn't want to move to receiver at first, but I think it's a good move for everybody.
I think it's a great move, and I think he has a future there, maybe at the next level.
Yeah.
Hey, number 4.
Montoursville, big win against Loyalsock. Every time I think Montoursville is down, they, you know, whether it was Jim Bergen, J.C. Kiefer, now Mike Bowden, whoever it is, they always seem to rally the troops when times are tough, and they did it again against Loyalsock. And huge win for them, and I think a young team's going to gel as the season goes on.
And we're going to draw a circle around that game, and we'll talk later in the season about it.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I think that'll be both teams. It'll be interesting how that game plays out later.
Yeah.
3
is up north. We'll go Canton. You know, I mentioned Muncie, and Canton's 5-0, undefeated. And you know, it's going to come down to them in Muncie again in Class A, and they're trucking people right now. They're mercy ruling everybody. They had a big win over South Williamsport, so they're doing some really good things up there.
2
Central Mountain. Williamsport just beat them 2 weeks ago, but Central Mountain's 4-1 now, and with Williamsport losing to Berwick, I moved the Wildcats back up. They lost in overtime to the Millionaires, and that's a program that's come light years the last 2 years. And with Shannon Manning there, a really good coach, I think you're going to hear a lot of good things from them in the future too.
And your top dog?
The Bulldogs, Jersey Shore. They've kind of made a permanent home there the last 2 years, and you know, they haven't been as dominant as last year, but they lost not all their starters, but they lost about 16 to 17 starters, and they had the big overtime win against Montoursville, and I think they're starting to put it together, and they're just so fun to watch. I saw them run 97 plays against Lewisburg, which is just extraordinary. I mean, they're Mario Andretti on steroids with running that fast-paced offense, and their defense is really good too. So I think they're good now, and I think they're going to get a lot better as the season goes on.
I think that's a great point. And boy, I tell you, I played for Kenny Robbins. If I got 3-4 tossed to me a game, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I'd love to play for Coach Gravish.
Absolutely. 72 runs against Lewisburg, and yet they still threw it 25 times.
Oh,
so
that's beautiful.
It's pretty amazing.
Hey, who's been the surprise player to you? I asked Coach Cruz earlier in the program who is most improved / sort of surprise player. How about you?
That's a tough one. I've been impressed with some of the freshmen, I'll say that, like Austin Johnson at Muncie, a freshman running back and linebacker.
Right. And you can give me more than one, just if you want to
Yeah,
rattle a
he's got closing in on 600 yards. Chris Doyle's a freshman running back at Milton. He was leading the whole district in rushing going into last week.
Wow.
So Brett Gerlach from Central Mountain, a dual threat quarterback, has really come on strong. And going back to the freshman, Elijah Jordan at Jersey Shore has become a kind of not a workhorse running back, but he's getting 10 to 20 carries a game for them. And he's a really exciting player too. So tons of young players making some big things happen.
Excellent. Hey, I'll get you out of here. I want to get you back to the Sun Gazette. I don't want to get you in any trouble.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm in charge there.
All right. Doc Massey on loan from the Sun Gazette. There you have it. We're going to head down to the township.
5. The Fairfield 5 is 35. The Fairfield 5 is 35, and we're celebrating at all 5 locations across Central PA. 5 is 35. We're the Fairfield 5 for fantastic selection and service, and we're way past old enough to drive. The Fairfield 5 is 35. Fairfield for fantastic deals.
We're here at Ken Robbins Stadium with Lancer head coach Justin Van Fleet. How are you doing, pal?
Wonderful. Thanks for coming down, and I'm excited for the guys to be able to talk to you here soon.
Always good to be here. Hey, very entertaining game with Montoursville. It'll only make you better as we go, halfway through the season already, but just give me a quick overview.
Well, it was entertaining for everyone except for me and the people on our sidelines, but we're looking forward to moving on to Troy and playing a good homecoming game. But in addition to that, I'm not going to pretend that we don't want another chance at them. I think we left a lot on the table, and we're going to just get back to work today and find a way to get better.
And the best part is, if you're going to drop the game to an opponent, you're better off dropping the first one.
Well,
so and no, that's no disrespect. The Warriors played a great game, let's move on. Homecoming. We're going to have homecoming. We're going to have Troy coming down to play the Loyalsock Lancers. We're going to cover homecoming this week, Webb Weekly Live, and tell me about the Troy Trojans, because they're playing some good football.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. They're a power running team. They have a great fullback who runs the A-gaps well. They run the triple option, as you know quite well, and I know quite well. And their tailback's their coach's son, so he's pretty darn good. Their quarterback's very disciplined. Their offensive line is gigantic. So we have an awful lot to work on in order to be able to stop that attack. Defensively, they haven't been given up many points. They run a complicated defense in comparison to what one would consider from the past. And we're looking forward to the matchup, but understand that it's a real challenge, and this is a very, very good football team that's coming to play.
You've had a great stretch of games, great opponents lately, and I mean, that's what you have to do to prepare. But I don't think we saw Troy. I don't think you saw Troy being as talented and as well prepared as they have just going into the season, did you?
Well, one of the things that I knew their offensive line was very strong coming into the season. A few of their guys have aspirations for the next level, and I pay pretty close attention to that stuff and watching the kids go through. So I knew they were coming. Their fullback had been a good rusher before, and knew they had some good athletes. It was the talk of the Northern Tier, so I knew they'd be solid. But they've been pretty dynamic. That's for sure.
Hey, and we look for different things to talk about. Let's talk about that District 4 Combine. I know Troy participates in that, and you do a great job of putting that on to get all players, all schools in District 4 to participate and get seen by college coaches, get times out there, get in. Give me a quick overview of that.
Well, we're hoping to get back to it this coming year. Unfortunately, we didn't have it this year. And what it is a combine in which we bring all the athletes throughout the local area and give kind of a proving ground. Oftentimes it's hand time, so really what you're looking for is differential between the population. But with that being stated, there are college coaches that all come and see, and they ask for the data, and it gives us something to use in order to differentiate our players in comparison to other levels, and certainly helps with college. Now, before we move on, I do have to embarrass you slightly.
Okay.
We have some collegiate athletes.
Are you going to have me run the 40?
No. If you could beat me back in the day, and both of us would be done on the 20.
All right.
We'd have to run a 20. But speaking with college athletes, your son Hunter, one of our best players in our school's history, he's just broken out at UConn. He had 15 tackles, followed up with 9, and we're really excited about his progress, as well as our backup punter at Loyalsock a few years ago was just punting the ball at Penn State for Villanova, with Connor Watkins stepping in for an injured punter. So a couple of guys at the next level doing some really cool things. We have a bunch of other guys that are doing really great things, but I thought it was notable and had to embarrass you. You never talk about your kids. We have Jimmy over here interviewing, and Connor's doing a great job.
And I got to give a shout out to Connor Watkins. We were following him. I was following Connor, and I thought it was great. I was hoping to get to play quarterback, but he punted the ball. He did exactly when he got to play at Beaver Stadium.
Yeah, he did a nice job in a clutch situation. So
shout out Connor Watkins. And hey, and I got to kick it right back at you. The District 4 Combine, the things that you do, not only Loyalsock players, but helping to get players seen in our area. And we got young Mr. Potts out there running around. We're getting kids out there and getting kids playing college football at every level, and that's a great thing for District 4.
Absolutely. Getting people to come off Route 80 and come a little bit north has been something that everyone's been working on, and we've had great movement in that direction.
So, hey, why don't we leave Jimmy Webb come in with some Lancers players? We'll be here Friday night. Good luck, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Break, and we'll be right back.
Last year changed so many things, and we made it through. One thing that didn't change is the presence and commitment from the Fairfield Auto Group. We're still here, Pennsylvania strong, and 35 years strong, to service you, your family, and our neighbors. Fairfield, for fantastic deals.
All right, we're at Ken Robbins Field with a squad of Lancers. We'll let them introduce themselves.
Brendan Clark, senior tight end for the Loyalsock Lancers.
Davion Hill, junior running back for the Lancers.
Dominic Slaney, junior center for the Lancers.
Ryan Glunk, junior, wide receiver.
Cy Kavanaugh, junior linebacker.
We'll start down there with Cy. Cy, having to move around a little bit this week, doing what's best for the team. Talk to us about that.
It's pretty much just the coaches let me know that they wanted me to move to the line, and they asked Clark to do it too, and we were both committed to the team, doing what's best for the team, so it's just what we had to do.
All right, we'll go over here to Glunky. Glunky, another big game. A lot of times getting double coverage. Talk to us about how you're getting open and getting off the line with that double coverage.
Well, I know when they're double teaming me, I know someone else is going to be open because the other side is going to have one-on-one. So, I mean, we just got to spread the ball through the field.
Mr. Cellini playing center, not getting a lot of notoriety, but the center is the most important position. Talk to us about how you prepare, and know you're not going to get any thanks, but what you're doing is helping the team.
Yeah, you know, it's not real easy work, but I know it's for the good of the team. Us linemen all working together for the good of the backs, the quarterback. So, you know, without us, everything doesn't flow smoothly. So,
and I'm sure those backs thank you, like this guy over here. Yep. Davion, to your admission, not your game you wanted to play, but I'm sure you'll have a bounce back game this week. What's your mentality going in, and how are you gonna have a huge game this week?
Yeah, last week was a tough one, and I'm just looking to get through the week and get to practice next week, and just look forward to beating Troy, and that's it, really.
Yep. And I know you'll work hard. Clarky, down with you. At this point in the season, your senior season, maybe not exactly where you want to be, but another half to go. What's the goal, and what's your plan to finish strong?
Goal is the same thing, district title. We dropped 2 hard games, but that's in the past, and like I say every week, we just got to go 1-0 and work towards being district champions, because there's no better way to end the football season.
Yep, for sure. So we'll do one shout out. Give us a shout out. Anyone you want to shout out?
Shout out to my parents, making every game.
Shout out Coach Clark.
Of course.
I shout out my mom just for supporting me and getting me through every situation in life, and just, yeah.
Our coaching staff, helping us through each week, you know, preparing us for every task at hand. So,
I'll shout out my mom and dad and my whole family for supporting me.
I want to shout out my family and the team for all the support.
I'll shout out my favorite Kavanaugh, Cy Kavanaugh. And then that's it for Touchdowns and Tailgates this week. So watch us on Webb Weekly Live Friday night, 7 o'clock.
Inside handoff. Oh, on the bootleg. 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Bounce it to the outside, trying to stretch that pylon. Stretches, and he is in for the touchdown.